Hello everyone, this is Louis. Welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for dropping by. Today I want to share with you my first river cruise experience with Viking. Now, before we begin, I want to let you know that I am not a travel agent and I'm not a cruise critic, and definitely no one is sponsoring this video. I just simply want to share with you my good, bad, and the beautiful experience that I had on my first river cruise with Viking. And hopefully, this will inspire you to join me on the next one. Now, we have been cruising for about 20 years now, mainly with Princess, Holland America, and Celebrity. But as we get older, we want to travel more. But we also don't want to bump into people everywhere on the ship. We want some intimate and quiet time while we're cruising. This year, we decided to give river cruising a try. Without knowing much about it, we were nervous and excited when we first boarded the Viking Longship in May. But we liked it so much that we decided to go again in July. Both times exceeded our expectations. As usual, the airport is still a mess. We learned our lesson last year when we nearly missed our embarkation because of a flight delay. Now, this time our flight was delayed for 5 hours. I'm sure you can see the unhappy face of my wife. Now, we always book our flight with the cruise line because if our flight is delayed and we missed our embarkation, they will try to get us to the next port at their expense. I would recommend that you at least have a 1 day pre-cruise just in case. Now, for our cruise, Viking booked our flight and even reserved the seat for us. We didn't have to do anything. After we arrived at the destination airport, a representative came and greeted us, and a limo drove us to the hotel. We included a 3 day pre-cruise in Paris and Basel just in case the flight is delayed. This also gives us a chance to see the city as well. In Basel, we stayed at the Movenpick. A Viking representative also stationed at the hotel. This is a lovely hotel and it's centrally located. The restaurant is beautiful and the food is excellent. But the cost may be quite shocking. You know the bottle of water sitting in the middle of the slide? That bottle of water costs €10. The main transportation for the locals is the trams and the bicycles. We never seen any traffic jam during our stay. Now, we also wanted to try to ride the trams, but we checked it out because we didn't want to get lost. During our pre-cruise stay in Basel, we visited many times the train station, which is quite close to the hotel. It is a huge station and lots of different stores in it. The pre-cruise also included a couple of excursions around the city. Now, instead of letting you walking around yourself, a tour guide was showing us around. He was so good that my wife was smiling all the way.
So 6 minutes time, the tram's going to come in, wait for it to stop, let people off the tram first, and then you get off. You went last night on the tram, right? Okay, so it's your first experience. Exciting times. So, as mentioned yesterday, Basel is in a very unique location because we sit on the borders of France and Germany. Are you filming me? So we have the two train stations, Badische Bahnhof, which is the German Swiss railway.
There's one thing you need to know. The water level of the river is very critical. If it is too high or too low, it could affect the sailing of the ship. If the water level is too high, the ship may not be able to pass under the bridge. And if the water level is too low, the ship cannot sail. And you may end up having to bus over to the next port to catch the other ship there. Now, we have heard horror stories that sometimes it ends up being a bus tour instead of a river cruise tour. But one thing is for sure, you will never get seasick. The ship is small and has only 190 passengers. Therefore, the embarkation and disembarkation are easy. There are 4 decks on the ship: the main deck, the middle deck, the upper deck, and the sun deck. Now, the standard stateroom in the main deck are below the water line. The little window in the room is about 3/4 way up and you don't see much outside. Now, there are 2 types of staterooms in the middle deck: the French balcony and the veranda. The French balcony lets you open the sliding door, but you cannot step out, where the veranda stateroom has a balcony that you can sit outside the room. We had the center stateroom for our May cruise and the French balcony for our July cruise. For the French balcony and the veranda staterooms, you better close the drapes when there is another ship docked right next to your ship, if you don't want other people to see you undressing. We close our drapes whenever the ship is docked. Also, the room is a bit smaller than the standard staterooms. On the upper deck, that's where all the suites are. The library, the lounge, the dining room, and the terrace are also on this deck. This is the sun deck, and it has some sporting facilities such as the walking track and a small putting green. Now, the ship may look small from the outside, but it has quite a bit of room to walk around. There was only one dining menu. It had fixed time for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and there is no room service. Now, if you missed your dinner time, then the only food available were the muffins and cookies at the coffee station. However, the muffin and cookies were the best. I always try to get up early so I can pick up some fresh muffins and cookies for later on in the day. Most of our excursions were walking tours. The tour guides were wonderful and knowledgeable. They went over the history of the old historic towns, the cathedrals, and the culture with lots of detail. I learned a lot from it. Now, make sure you have a good pair of walking shoes because a lot of those walkings are on the cobblestone road as you can see from the pictures. During our last cruise, it rained every day during the excursions, so make sure you bring layers of clothing and rainwear. The crew were fantastic. They always have a beautiful smile. And they even remember my name, my choice of drinks, and my food choice. Now, here's something that you don't find on the big ships. For your excursion, they even provide bottled water and an umbrella when it rains. Okay, say something. The staff are so wonderful. Huh?
？What?
好久不见，这样。
Oh,
你好嘛。
thank you.
Now I'll become famous now.
Yeah, I put you on YouTube, okay?
Okay. We're sharing the profit.
Okay.
Here are some of the food that we ate. The salmon and the salad were the best. I love them. You know what impressed me most about the Viking River Cruise? It is the excursion. You see, other cruise line, you have to pre-book your excursion. And if you're late and the excursion is full, then you're out of luck. But with Viking, there is always an excursion included for every port they visit. Now, it is not just any excursion walking tour. They have train ride, they have winery visit. It is just unbelievable. And furthermore, all their tour guides are full of fun and they are very knowledgeable. You see the picture here? She was just fantastic. Now, here are some of the things that you need to know before you consider river cruising. As I mentioned before in the video, the water level of the river is very critical. If it is too high or too low, it can affect your whole cruise. And also, river cruise does not operate a whole year. So you better check with your travel agent which month is the best for you. Now, here are some of the things that you need to know before you consider river cruising. Because the ship is smaller, so there is no casino, no spa, no exercise room, no swimming pool, and most definitely there is no Broadway show in the evening. And some of the cruise lines, they're not even allowing children, so you can really enjoy a peaceful, quiet time on the cruise. Now, there's one thing I really like is there are no photographers chasing you, and there is no formal night. And also, they are not there to nickel and dime you to death. The only thing that is extra is the gratuity on top of your fare. Even then, it's also optional. One thing I do want to caution you though, the room is much smaller than the ocean liner one. So make sure you don't overpack and don't bring those big gigantic suitcases because they won't fit. Another thing you need to know about river cruise is that it's like an organized land tour and it's not for everyone. Every activities on the ship is so regimented, such as eating, touring, lectures. And also you're part of the group. So everyone gets to know you and you get to know other people. Most of the passengers on a river cruise are seniors. So it is definitely not for young people who wants to party. Now, some people complain about river cruise are more expensive than the ocean cruise, but I think it is a myth. The reason for that is river cruise usually include return airfare, transfers, Wi-Fi, wine and soft drink during the meals, and most importantly, excursion to every port that they visit. So if you add all this up, then river cruise is not more than the ocean cruise. When I first started looking into river cruise, I called Viking directly and was talking to one of their representatives by the name of Trey. He was very courteous and very knowledgeable. He provided me with all the answers. So if you are interested in Viking River Cruise, I would suggest that you give Trey a call. I'm sure he can answer most of your questions. Viking has three different types of cruise ships: the river cruise, the ocean cruise, and the expedition cruise. I am sure they are all excellent. We are looking forward to trying their ocean cruise next year, and maybe the expedition cruise the year after. Well, that's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Until the next time, take good care of yourself and enjoy each day to the fullest.